Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Hey, what's up?
You know, Wyatt, I like it. I like it better when you watch me during my intro.
I learned a long time ago I can't do that because you're going to trick me.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
You always do it. You're like, hey, the first one who laughs loses. That's like your game every time.
I would never.
I mean, just look at your face, dude. I lose every time.
The stupid
Loser
face.
jerks off winner or
No,
winner
just have to
jerks
reset
off.
the
I think
intro
you're
because
on it.
I'll start giggling.
Kenny's on a different thing.
Well, we've got Wyatt back again for our intro. We just did a spicy after hours. So if you want to hear Wyatt's TED Talk, you got to jump into the after hours content on Patreon. And we've got
Probably worth it.
definitely
That was a good one.
So we've got old man going to bed, time to manage, which is Rob, and we've got Wyatt, who very justifiably needs rest. So he needs
Rob's
to get
old. My ass is wounded. You have 9 fingers now. We're falling apart.
Nah, this is
Hey,
bad.
I have butt problems too, but not as bad as Wyatt.
I'd challenge Wyatt to that.
Wyatt's got us all beat.
Well, let's do a would you rather. The only reason this podcast stays relevant. So it's relevant to the Cable Wonders.
Oh, man. Would you rather make friends with a ghost only you can see and hear, or become pen pals with a convicted serial killer?
Wait, imaginary friend or pen pals with a serial killer?
Yeah.
Well, one's easier than the other. I don't have to write a note to an imaginary friend.
So wait, like I interact with a ghost that doesn't exist to anyone but me.
Yeah.
Like he's my
I
boy.
feel like a lot of us do that already.
Is he annoying or is he chill?
You don't know.
Oh, it's like a Tamagotchi. Like you're going to hatch it and see what personality he has and all that.
May not even be in your house. You have to go find it.
What? Like a Pokemon? Like Pokemon Go?
Yeah. I mean, has anybody been murdered in your house, Rob?
I mean, not that I know of.
I mean, you could plead the fifth on
Is
that
it
one.
going to be like a real ghost of a real person?
Yeah.
Damn. And we go on, it's like, damn. I feel like the ghosts might be, but okay. So now with the pen pal, do I have to like engage him regularly?
Yeah.
He only knows what I tell him about, though. Like he doesn't know my name, my address, and shit.
Oh yeah. It's all like above board.
Up on the up and okay.
Yeah. There's no secret thing where he's trying to like kill you. It's just you're his pen pal. Like your buddies now.
I think I would go with the serial killer. Do I get to pick the serial killer?
Sure.
Oh, it could be like that Predators movie where like they're all there and you don't know like why they're there, like what they did.
I just thought it was interesting because like one of the most popular genres on like Netflix is documentaries about serial killers.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
So I figured that'd be like,
Murderinos.
oh, you could be like a pen pal with somebody and like get all this information. Like what an interesting personality to like write to back and forth.
My only problem with the ghost is that he wouldn't take modern social cues and probably doesn't value things that humans value anymore, and that it would become a problem. Like if I don't, because like imagine his life is boring as fuck if he's got like unfinished business. So he's either gonna like constantly be on my ass to finish his unfinished business, which could be fucked up.
Yeah, it could be like the Frighteners.
Yeah, or let's say he's down, but he's just like the worst. What if he's just like the worst, but like most bored person on earth, and he's constantly hounding me for fucking entertainment, you know? Like, and he doesn't take any cues because he's a fucking ghost, man. He doesn't give a fuck about reality. And probably every time he like evaporates and comes back, he doesn't even understand time anymore. He doesn't even realize that he's endlessly fucking annoying me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can live that life. It's forever, right?
Sure.
Is he like tied to me or to like my location?
Oh, you're just his friend.
Like, man.
So,
I mean,
like,
I would be his
away.
friend, but I just can't take the chance that he's not going to be cool. That he would be like an ass.
At least the serial killers.
What if it's like Elvis though? That'd be pretty cool.
I'm not going to Memphis to find a ghost. First of all, Memphis is terrible.
Do I have any say on how my ghost occurs, or is it just random? Can I do like a seance or some shit?
Yeah, you could do like a seance.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Okay.
Like call to a specific ghost if you wanted to.
And there's
if you could pick your serial killer, I feel like you could do a seance. Pick your ghost.
Okay. Then I might do the ghost. If I can actually get the ghost, if it's potential, at least give him an opportunity to be the one that haunts me. I'd flip it back to ghost for that. I got some ideas on what ghost I'd go with. I might even save it. How long do I get before I have to start it? Can I swap my ghost out later?
No.
Damn. I always wanted to be friends with Jack Black. And I'd hold out for him to be my ghost.
Just wait. Just wait until he dies.
Wait.
But it's not going to go down. Yeah, I'd do ghost.
Do like Chris Farley. It's probably
that was my second go-to. I was like, Chris Farley, didn't my guy. 100%.
Macho Man?
Nah, Macho Man's a weirdo in real life.
Okay.
Like, I thought about Macho Man too. Like, I was like, Macho Man, depressing.
I think Ghost would probably be the way to go. I don't know. Maybe not, because you're right. Could just like really be super annoying.
I want a ghost because it sounds fun, but I want to have some say in the ghost selection process.
Yeah, I feel like that's the better way to go.
Also, I could provide him with some like mutually beneficial friendship. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be terrible if the ghost was like wronged and needs vengeance, and like this dude he needs vengeance against like already died or something. Like, and he's like stuck on our plane of existence, and like there's no mutually beneficial friendship here.
Well, maybe you could exact vengeance from his lineage or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to get caught up in that. That'd be being dishonest with the guy. I'd be like, I'm not interested in that shit.
Could be an adventure.
Wasn't there like a show about somebody who like helped ghosts move on? Well,
and he smoked weed a lot too.
Is that
on Hulu?
Is it on
Medium?
Hulu? I don't know if it's called.
It's like a fat guy who smoked a lot of weed.
Man,
it's like a comedy.
I don't think so. I think it was more drama. I'm sure this has been done multiple times.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Sherlock Holmes has been on a while.
Well, I'll do Ghost.
Yeah, I think Ghost might be the way to go.
Sounds fun.
Cool.
Damn it! My ghost is going to spring Long John Silver's in me. I know it.
Oh my god!
He's like,
what if you did like the ghost of actual Long John Silver and then took him to a Long John Silver's?
That is.
He'd be like, "This is your legacy," and he'd be amazed because he's like from pirate times. He'd be like, "This is the coolest shit of all time." You're like, "Yeah, dog, it's great."
Yo, I've been meaning to go down to Beaufort because apparently they got like all the Blackbeard shits down there, and it's like wild. I gotta see it.
All right,
it's on the coast.
Somebody said Jennifer Love Hewitt. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is it Ghost Whisperer? I feel like that's Ghost Whisperer. It was like during the same time as like Buffy and Angel and all that. Yeah. I feel like that's Ghost what I'm thinking of.
Huh.
There was like a Hulu original that was like kind of the same show, but like
I feel like I'm thinking about Ghost Whisperer.
That seems right. All right, well, good one, Wyatt. The Ghost of Long John Silver. That's what I'm doing.
Who founded Long John Silver's?
I mean, Long John Silver's, isn't it?
No.
Some guy in fucking Ohio or some shit, or Kentucky.
Oh, it was probably some Midwest state.
It is. I looked it up. It was like some guy in Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. Some guy in Kentucky was like, "We got this." That's
seafood,
son.
Yeah,
nailed it. Fucking nailed it. All right. Well, if that's it, Wyatt, if you need to go to bed and get your rest,
I'll get out of here. I'll see you guys.
We miss you.
I'll be back. I'll be back after a heal.
All right, Rob, you want to do Mantis news?
Oh, I got some hot shit here. So the first restaurant for Long John Silver's was opened in 1969 in Lexington, Kentucky. Dude, no wonder this shit's terrible.
Yikes.
I feel like that's like fraud. Oh well. Anyways, no wonder they had to fry all this shit. They couldn't get it fresh.
I mean, God, I hope they got it fresh. I mean, you ship it frozen, you ship it on ice from the source. Like,
I always thought it was kind of wild that all the Red Lobsters, apparently, like, no matter where they were, the shit would always come in from Maine. Like, so even if it was California, they shipped it from Maine. Like, no local stuff, just, boop. I don't know. But I don't know if it's still like that anymore.
Who knows?
I have not been to one of those in a while. So yeah, we got some news. It was actually a semi-exciting week, notwithstanding the whole FAQ to the Votann today that dropped. But I feel like there's some other stuff we can talk about here in a few. So release-wise from Games Workshop, they're redoing the Space Marine Heroes for 2022. I guess it's technically Series 4, although they're calling it Space Marine Heroes 2022, featuring 6 different of the ETB models that they released first in Japan in 2017 and then here in the States in 2018. There was 8 different ones, but this time they're only putting out 6 of them in blind boxes for $8 retail each here in the States. So this time they're in red plastic. They say Blood Angels. Last time they were in blue plastic. They are technically Ultramarines or Space Marines, but they have no icons on them, so you can literally buy them and spray paint them any color you want and be good to go. There's also the Warcry Core rulebook, which was just rebooted in the Jungle Box, whatever it was called. Doesn't even matter at this point. $50 for that. I don't even think it's hardcover, to be quite honest with you. But they did change a lot of stuff. So if you are in the Warcry, you probably already know this. You got to pick up the book, and at least you don't have to spend $210 on the box set. Curse City's coming out with their expansion. There's no miniatures. It's just a card supplement. It's $50 US, and Curse City will be on either direct order or made to order from Games Workshop this weekend. No idea what the price is. Again, if it's going to be something that comes out quick, or if it's going to be 180-day turnaround on the made-to-order dealio. So look out for that. Blood Bowl seeing the Amazon team for $50, their dice set for $18, the new Spike Journal, which is where to get their rules from, for $15, card pack for $30, and the team pitch in dugouts for $50. And then a couple of Black Library releases too: Empire at War, Rogue Dorn, Primarch book, and the Cursed City. And the Rogue Dorn book is the hardback, but it's not the limited edition book, so it's only $19 that's coming out there. So that's all the GW releases. The only other, I think, big release miniatures wise is Asmodee is coming out, or AMG is coming out with the Echo Based Defenders Battle Force box for Star Wars Legion. That's $150. That should be in stores tomorrow. Probably already in stores, but street date, I believe, is tomorrow on that one. They pushed back Blizzard Force. That's the Empire one. So there was some component issues. They messed up. I got advanced copies of both of those. I think the Blizzard Force, or the Echo-based Defenders, was good, although I didn't double check all the cards because I don't even know at this point. The Blizzard Force was missing some components. So supposedly they're aware of the situation and they are pushing it back to fix those boxes. If you picked up the 501st Legion Battle Force for Star Wars Legion, you probably want to check with your retailer because there are some issues with it, some component issues. Supposedly, according to reports, Asmodee is providing replacements for that Battle Force. So if you purchased it from Asmodee, email them. If you got it from your local game store, you're supposed to return it according to their FAQ to your local game store, and then they contact Asmodee to either get replacement parts or get a new box for you. So got to play it by ear depending on where you bought it from. But just be aware of that there are some issues with the 501st Legion Battle Force box, unfortunately. I could say, hey, look, these guys are a huge company. They should have got it right. But really, at the end of the day, there's some growing pains. They got FFG dropped all the Star Wars properties. Basically, Asmodee came along and they're like liquidated. They put them all on AMG. There's going to be some growing pains. That's going to happen in any company with any sort of shift like that. I'm gonna make the excuse one more time for them. Hopefully, this is it on the growing pains, and we don't see continued issues, because that in of itself could be an issue, in my opinion. But we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, at least in my mind, because I tune into the streams for AMG, a really bunch of really great folks that seem very passionate about what they do, and I haven't seen passion like that in the hobby in quite some time. Definitely not from a major manufacturer. So we'll just give them the benefit of the doubt, at least in my mind for now. So there is that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Lumineth for Age of Sigmar apparently is delayed. GW said it in like a random Twitter comment. They were supposed to be out summer, air quotes, which technically was 7 days ago, was the end of summer. So don't know when they're going to hit, but apparently, GW likes to have everything in the majority of the bigger warehouses. It kind of seems like, unfortunately, I throw Australia and some of the Asian sales regions under the bus sometimes, but I assume that not all of the major regions had it in stock, so they didn't release it with the Disciples of Tzeentch last week. So be on the lookout if you're an AOS fan for the Lumineth reboot. Hopefully soon. Couldn't tell you when that may or may not be going forward. A little bit of news on if you're really excited for the Magic 40K Commander deck release. On the collector side of things, it's bad. It's really bad. Wizards, they're kind of asshats, to be quite honest with you. They are hell-bent on this direct-to-consumer sales thing. They sold the collector decks on Amazon for the past couple of months, and they just effed over local game stores, like super allocated them. These all-foil collector decks are going to be going for super premium if you find them out there. Hopefully they do a reboot, but it's really sad to see because these things look really good, and they're just going to be really hard to get for anything even close to retail, which was $150 for the decks. So kind of what I was talking about in the pregame, where a lot of game stores, it's going to be tough to compete unless you're going to a pay to play kind of subscription model. When you got Wizards pulling stuff like this, that you can't even get the product to sell folks that has a decent profit margin. So kind of sucks. But this really isn't the forum for Magic cards. We're just talking about it because it was 40K themed. What else do we need to talk about? I'm sure we're going to talk about Votann here in a few minutes. And Monument Hobbies. They came out kind of out of nowhere with 3 new washes. I think they're $5.55 each for like 22 milliliters, which, it's kind of most of these stuff. 22
milliliters,
like 18.
With a twist lid with a seal and a gasket and a agitator.
Yep. I don't feel like it's a bad value.
It's averse to 18 milliliters, which I think is the standard dropper bottle.
Yeah, pretty standard. GW, all their stuff's now 18 milliliters, unless it's like a air paint or something like that. And they obviously don't come in a flip cap or a twist off cap with a gasket and stuff inside. They had a really cool Instagram video on how they look and how they apply, and they look pretty good. I haven't got my hands on them yet. It was kind of came out of nowhere. Like they're just like, hey, this is happening. And
he told me he sent me a couple samples a few months ago, and I was like, no, you didn't. He's like, yeah, I did. And I was like, brah, come on. No, you didn't. How am I going to miss? I was like, let me guess. It was all like sketchy looking, didn't have a label on it. How am I going to miss a sketchy pot of paint. I get like hundreds of paint pots from you in boxes. You tell me you're going to throw in a labelless bottle paint. I didn't say anything to you.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. You know,
So he's sending me some right now. So I'm excited to take a look at them because I only use the best. And currently the best is Army Painter when it comes to the wash game. So I like my gimmicks if they work. The quick shades are my current top pick in the universe of miniature painting for an acrylic-based wash set. I require all my students to buy the whole set. I don't have any kind of kickback. I don't have a affiliate link, nothing. Literally, they send me washes. I send them out as samples. That's the only deal I have. That I use these washes because they're the best. And I switched to my hobbies because they're the best paints. So if they come out with a wash that is on par with how superior their paint is, and it is better than Army Painter, which I haven't seen for myself yet, then I may have to be switching my stance. We'll see. But it still may be a long time coming because they only have black, brown, and flesh.
yeah.
And one of the reasons I advocate for the Army Painter set is because they have all those tones. Green, blue, soft, light, dark, red, purple, everything. So like that's a game changer. So what I'm curious about is if it's not just their pigment and their new medium combined. So that's kind of I gotta wait and see because they did also come out with their glaze medium, which is a great product. Monument did. But I don't even use it in the capacity that it's advertised for. So if it's like just that plus a little bit more thinner and pigment, it'd probably be better than 90% of washes out there, but I don't know if that would be enough to make it better than Army Painter. You know, so can't wait to give out my honest criticism and feedback on it.
I'm sure they'll be good. I mean, they look good already. So
I'm sure it will be good. It's Monument Hobbies.
Yeah, he has good focus.
Yeah, it's just, you know, so I'm very excited and I have high hopes and expectations.
Yeah, and hopefully we get more as they go. We get more in the line too. You know, because I mean those are good to start with, but you're definitely going to want, you know, like some reds and probably like a purple, maybe greens, at least one. So.
Yeah, and I do have a suspicion it is, like, and I think someone in chat just mentioned that he already confirmed that. I have a suspicion it is kind of like their pigment pre-mixed with the glaze medium they put out. And it, like, that's good, but it's not, I don't think that's better than Army Painter. Like, and Jason has a bad habit of naming things, like, wrong. And so, like, you know, transparent paints, that name gives people the wrong idea. And the glaze medium, honestly, I think gives people the wrong idea. Like, I don't even use it to glaze. I don't use it to do any of that shit. I use it for edge highlighting, right? Crazy. I use a glaze medium to edge highlight. Well, it's because it's not a glaze medium. What it does is it allows me to lower the opacity of the paint without changing the moisture component. So I still have a low moisture compound, which is controllable in the edge highlighting world, but it allows me to quite readily manipulate the softness of my edge highlights. So I'm using it like opposite as advertised terminology. So I can see that being a good combo, but I'll wait and see. You know.
Well, I eagerly anticipate your review. Maybe we can compare notes because I'm you know, pretty much a pro painter. Classically trained.
Classically trained, yeah.
Classically trained by the Florida man. I don't know if you know him.
Formally educated.
Oh man, what a good time! So I think that's basically all the news. I had some interesting musings about the potential Battle Force lineup for the Christmas Battle Forces for Warhammer and Age of Sigmar, because I noticed some interesting trends over the past three years, where it's basically always a Space Marine one. Over the past 3 years, a Tyranids one. It's basically like 2 Imperial plus a wild card and 2 Xenos. And the wild card could either be an extra Imperium or an extra Xenos one, but there seemed to always have been a Tyranids one. And, it's just kind of weird looking at it to kind of see it. And it's always generally older factions, which is weird. And then with the Sigmar, it's completely opposite. It's usually the newest factions that come out. Like, they use it to kind of peddle some of the newer sprues and such, and not necessarily the older stuff, because the older stuff, unfortunately, it's the Sigmar / fantasy world is pretty significantly older. So it's an interesting dichotomy between the two sets of battle forces there. And hopefully we get battle forces this year, because it turns out those rumors from a couple of weeks ago were incorrect and actually completely made up. So who knew? Rumors don't always pan out. A rumor's a rumor. Who knew? So there is that. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of muse and kind of take a look back at the battle forces and see what the potential pattern might be there. And that's it. That's the pattern as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Well, it's a real ass pattern. So Votann is what we talked about extensively in the pregame show.
There was some hot takes.
Hot takes. Hot. Also, I came back from Vegas for the Las Vegas team tournament by Frontline Gaming. So we finally got to conclude that. Wyatt, because of the reasons he's not here tonight, couldn't make it. I just want to shout out Matt Green from XBZ, who came out and did our matchups for us, and he really held it down. He posts under the handle Headstrong.
Oh, I like that.
He got to kick it with us. He introduced himself to me as soon as because we had never physically been in the same room with the guy. He shows up. It's like 11:30 at night. He's been drinking with the XBZ guys all night. Shows up, and he's like, socially lubricated from drinking, and we're having a good time. And he's like, I'm not really like this, guys. I'm glad I was drinking first. He like instantly drops his Grey Knight army. We has to spend the whole night gluing back together with us.
Jeez.
He was a fun introduction, and we did well. We went 3-2-1, one tie. But they brought the point differential back, or kind of retooled it, so points are back. So it was so awesome to fight somebody, be in a bad matchup and fight them to a 10-point margin and actually score points for your team. And then there's a minimum amount of points your team has to earn out of 100 to win, or it's a tie, right? Or you lose. So it was really fun. 3 solid wins, and the tie was in our favor, so that feels good. Solid performance. I think we placed 16th range. Demek and Matt were there playing Death Guard and Tyranids. I was playing my new Blood Angels, which I was all over the internet with. Had a lot of fun with them. I lost my opening game against the new Tyranid stuff. But I was able to score points for my team. Downloaded a lot there. It was my first game with it. Went into a mirror match, Blood Angels. I won that. Still, though, the guy was more of a veteran than me in the Blood Angels world. His name was Mike. He taught me a lot of tech that I left on the table. And then I went into an orc fight, Speedwall style. Another Mike. Got the win there. I was feeling and I had a lot of downloaded intel now. I was feeling good about it. Went into the Sisters matchup, day 2, and I was like, guys, I got this. Last tournament, I played them 3 times. I'll never lose the Sisters. It's impossible. I lost. And, but I finally was able to put together, kind of what Mike was telling me in that first fight, what I did wrong in the Tyranids fight. So Sisters being one of the hard meta games, too. And the guy who I played, David, he's a really solid player, and I saw really what I did wrong. And so Matt Green was like, God, I thought you said you had this. I already wrote a 20 down, dog. I thought you had it. I was like, fucked up, dude. But I got it this time. Put me back in. And the next round, they have a Tyranid, or they also have a Sister player. I was like, I want that Sisters. I want the immediate rematch, dog. I got it. And they're all like, are you sure? Are you sure? So they put me as an attacker. They were like Grey Knight sisters. And he's like, you sure you don't want the Grey Knights? I was like, fuck the Grey Knights. Give me them sisters. I got this. Zach, that guy's name. He's a great guy. I've played it before. But I took everything I learned against David 30 minutes ago. You know what I mean? I was like, and a lot of people, they avoid, like, oh, I lost to Tyrannus. I don't want to play him again. I'm like, nah, give me the rematch. I'm at my most likely to succeed right now, mentally. Because I have figured it all out. Figured out what I did wrong. And played Zach, almost identical list. I think his was better, honestly. I liked a lot of his elements more. And I finally put everything together that I learned from my first loss and my second loss. Slam dunk Zach, got the big 20-0. I think I got 99 points on the sisters. I was like, yes. And then we go to the last round. They have a sisters player too. I'm like giving them fucking sisters. And they slid me out like they did last time, but they slid their sister out so we couldn't fight. I was like, no. And then they slid out like Grey Knights and Tau. They're like, which one? I was like, give me fucking Tau. I got this. And another great fight. But I used all of that information that I downloaded, and I think I 97 the Tau. Putting it all together. So like I felt really good about my Blood Angels. 4-2, lost to Nids, lost to Sisters. A couple tweaks I would make. I was the second highest scoring Blood Angel player in the room. Second to Junior, who he's like the best Blood Angel player right now. And I saw his list, hit him up for some advice, and I've got a couple of new pieces of tech I'm excited about for possibly SoCal Open to bring to the army. Probably going to start off with just changing Dante out to a chapter master on bike with a relic Thunderhammer, and he made us some compelling arguments for that. And I'm all in. But let me tell you what, to the whole world, Mephiston is dope. Love that. Some people ask what unit performed the boat. Everything. People ask me, what was your MVP? It's like all of it. In a fight where something wasn't optimized, other elements are optimized. Mm-hmm. Like the anchor, my Centaurian Assault Squad anchor was great. It was always dope. Mephiston was always dope. There are some times where his offense is kind of a limp noodle, but he's always scoring me Relentless Assault. He's always forcing the opponent to deal with him. Like against the Tau, he goes that 19 inches, gets to the backfield, clears out a crew squad. That's helpful. Relentless Assault, that's helpful. I end up in cover, and then I literally I tank a Hammerhead twice because of transhuman. Right? Then I absorb a commander with him too. So then finally he drops him. But like he contributed to Relentless Assault 3 times. And kept powerful units from shooting out. I mean, he was so tight. Against the Orcs, he jumped right across the table and tagged that flyer. That he didn't kill it. I didn't expect him to, but it stopped it from doing what it was going to do on turn 1. And then I was just like absorbing fights on the backfield for a while. So in fights where he's not even really killing a lot of stuff, he's scoring me points every time, man. But the Death Company, every time I went first, the Death Company were maniacs. And even when I went second, they were still great. They always performed. So I love the Vanguard Vets, even though most people are running 3 units of Sanguinary Guard. I run only 1 and 2 units of Vanguard Vets. And I love it because I run a max 10, so I combat squad them now. So it's 4 units, and I put them in reserves so I can do this Blood Angel secondary Death from Above. And with 4 instances of this, these like Lightning Claw maniacs, it's really dope. So I'm very happy with the way my list performs. One minor change for now, but there's a second major change I may make, but I'm going to do one more tournament with the Assault Centurions first. And I'll reveal that as I go in tactics. So that's my update from Vegas. It was dope. Zach went 6-0 like you do. He held it down for our team. Big Ray.
Damn. Yeah. What was he running?
He was running Chaos Knights.
Oh, cool. The Walk the Dogs?
With Abaddon, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. He fucked.
Taking the dogs for a walk?
Yep. It was fun, man. I'm very excited I want to go to SoCal Open. That's my plan, at least, and just keep this Blood Angel ready to tear alive.
I like to see it. Blood Angels are fun.
It's exciting. I mean, it's exciting. It's like 5th edition all over again. You know?
We need more of that in life.
I mean, like, it's been a while since I just like straight raffle stomped somebody and got all my shit up in their shit. You know what I mean? Remember I was talking to Haspel about that last time he was on the show? It's like, when's the last time you got all your shit across the table and just fucking got up in their business? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't even, maybe with Custodes? I don't know.
I got to do it several times. It was exhilarating.
Seems pretty fun. I think if I was to sit down and play a game of 40K tomorrow, it'd probably be Custodes or Imperial Knights.
There was a lot of Custodes out there.
Yeah,
they were not uncommon.
I've been watching the list. Been watching the Knights list. I'm not going to play Chaos Knights. I don't have any, but I don't know. Got too much invested in the Imperial ones, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean,
there's that.
Hopefully there's a team, big ass teams near you and we can get you back on the squad.
I don't know, man. Like everything locally is, I mean, there's some really passionate folks playing 40K and Sigmar. I would almost say there's locally more people playing Sigmar than 40K, but I mean, a lot of these independent games are growing, man. Like Marvel, Legion's got, picking up. X-Wing's kind of dropped off, but even, what's that game that they just put out? Dang it. The name escapes me. Too much alcohol, but,
must be a good game.
Yeah, super good game. Let me tell you what. A lot of independent games are picking up steam, man. It's just people can take their hobby dollars and get more value, So it's I understand, I get it, man.
Yeah, I mean, playing 40K is like a math equation for me. It's dope, has the most models, the sickest models, and
for sure.
Typically, I can go any game store and I can play 40K against somebody.
Yeah, it's the least common denominator.
The day that is not the case, that it's not the dopest models, it doesn't have the most models, and it can't always get a game, that's when I start looking at these other games.
Yep, I agree.
And also when it's not the most exposure on the internet simultaneously.
They are very good at that. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we're quite there yet, but I mean, Votann's definitely got a lot of people talking, I feel like.
It does. Good segue.
Good
segue.
That's what I do here.
Got some, we had a nice, solid, totally reasonably volume leveled discussion earlier.
Spoiler alert, it's opposite day.
Little clickbait in the title as usual. You guys know how it is. Votann got some FAQs already, a little bit more than you'd expect for a day one FAQ when it's not even out yet. So it's a lot, and so we made a lot of points, but let me see if I can summarize them easier. Right?
Okay.
The army doesn't exist as of yet. All the models aren't even made. They're not even out. Can't even buy them all. Right?
True.
So like this faction doesn't even really exist. Right? And then there was also like a bunch of TO bans. So it also doesn't exist in the capacity that even if you had collected something, you can't even play it, right? Mm-hmm. So it marks a trend to where the community can convince or sway the game producer into changing the game. That's a point that Wyatt likes to make as not a good trend, and he cites several examples in his TED Talk of that happening to other games in the past and killing them. Mm-hmm. Good point. Rob made some great points on how to solve it, as he always does, and I think you even have an article about that.
Yeah, I had some ideas, but then I kind of came up with one more. I don't know if you want to talk about it, the whole
I mean, don't even worry about it. Solving this is not even. It can't. Thing is, it can't happen. If we expect GW,
I think it's systemic at GW's level. Like they have there's so many issues that would independently need to be resolved to make things like this not happen, that I just don't think I think it's magical Christmas land at that point. Like we're just wish listing for GW to solve these problems. Yes.
And the problem, and so here's the problem that I feel like that's important to bring up. So earlier we did some math on playtesting in the after hours. So
yeah, it was eye-opening.
this isn't a question of GW admitted they were wrong or they screwed up or they don't play test enough or they wouldn't put out bad rules if they play tested more. Like, all this is arbitrary, guys. I had this conversation 400 times over the weekend with a bunch of hardcores. Okay? It's really fun to say we can play test more or this or that. And I am guilty of saying, like, it's just words on a page, dog. What is it? Just fix it. No. We are taking every piece of data we know about balancing games from video games. This is not that. This is a tabletop game. Tabletop games take 3 hours to play, at least, if you have a chess clock. If you're playing a competitive 2,000-point game, there's a lot more than a couple of words on a page for every interaction that has to occur. Core rules are just a couple pages, yeah, for sure, right? But we're talking way more than words on a page. So any update to the words on a page actually isn't an update until everybody's on the same page. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if, like, the hotfix is installed if, like, you're unaware of the hotfix. Like, now I have to explain to you the hotfix that you may not be aware of. You know what I mean? Like, so, and that has to spiral out. So it's a lot more complex than just fixing things sometimes. But also, in the world of playtesting, okay, we just broke it down. A proper playtest is a competitively organized 2,000-point Votann army versus every faction in the game. In every mission type in the game. That's one round. That's one wave. And you have to do it in such a way where, like, Votann went first in every instance. Then you have to play a same round of games, same opponents, same everything, same playtesters to remove variables, but Votann goes second. Same missions, everything. Okay? Then you have to do that again with different list. Okay? So everyone has to change their list, or in a control, only the Votann changes the list, his opponent doesn't, then his opponent does, and then it's a first go, second go, and then it's every mission again. To just do one wave of games,
it's ridiculous.
It's over 1,100 hours. Right? That's just Votann goes first, Votann goes second, same matchups once. That's like over 1,100 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that hasn't even gotten a list change yet. That hasn't gotten their list change yet. That hasn't gotten them go first, then go second with the list change, and then another permutation. It's not possible, is what I'm saying. So it's not about GW screwed up or not doing enough playtesting. They figured this out already since the 90s to now. You can see this in 9th edition. They put out a codex like Drukhari, really spicy, some very, very, like, you know, aggressively pointed units, some solid rules interactions, and then we go nuts. And then you see the top 8 gets populated by Drukharis. Okay? So then the first round of information that comes back from, like, the next 60 days of GTs, you have to discover, is that just people onboarding it, or because they already have Drukhari, or is this really, like, the meta shit? And you look at the top 8, and you're like, okay, 3 Drukharis, 4 Drukharis, 5 Drukharis. Okay, they have similar stuff in their list. What are those things? Oh, every single instance of Drukhari in the top 8 has these 5 things in common. That's the first thing on your agenda right there. So you do that 60 days in, and you've gotten pretty close to that 1,100 hours I just talked about. Right? Like, all the tournaments being played, all the data coming in 60 days, you have about that metric now. And now you have the target of the nerf, which was Raiders are too cheap, or this CP is too much, or this too little, or these things can't have core, whatever it is. Then you let them play it out from there and see what happens. So usually it's a day 1 FAQ, which is the things they already knew about from their playtesting. Then it's then round 2 FAQ is from that data.
I almost feel like sometimes they had that FAQ almost preloaded.
They already do have it preloaded because they do have playtesters, and they already know some things.
Yeah,
okay?
No, I agree with that.
So, but the things they can't know is the 1,100 hours of work to get almost no games. You know what I mean? And so we do that as a community.
Yeah, I feel like you can't even fathom that they do that. That's just too much.
No, it's impossible. I just explained how it's impossible. You need like an army of playtesters who are good at 40K. like an army of full-time employees. Like, it's not going to happen. So we do it. So all of 9th edition, we have done it for them. And it's like not even a bad thing. We're going to go play anyway. Fuck it. Like, who cares? So what? Somebody dick smashed a bunch of people with Drukhari all weekend, and then somebody's going to say something like, yeah, but it's not fair to the guy who just, who came there to, play with his army, that he got beat by another army. I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, they're like, that's not fair that, if he's not playing Drukhari, he's not winning. I literally can't even fucking respond to that. I cannot empathize with that stance. Like, I'm probably not even in the top 8. It's probably not even going to affect me. You know what I mean? And if I did lose Drukhari during the course of the tournament, like, did I even go 5-1, 4-2? Did I only play one Drukhari? I need so much more information before I can even have an opinion about how busted Drukhari are. You know what I mean? So the only way for me to discover that information is to not listen to other people's opinions and go play. And it's just like not watching a movie because someone said it was bad before you went and watched it.
There's a lot of that on the internet.
You know what I mean? So I need to go play. And so at that point, I will take it as a challenge. Can I beat Drukhari with what I'm playing? I will think about it. I will strategize and see if I can do it. Okay, I lost. Let's say I lost. If I think I lost because there's nothing I can do differently, that's one thing. If I think I lost because I need to optimize my list, now that this is in the meta, that's another thing, So then I would need to play them again before I can even make that decision. That's just one guy trying to fucking survive in a world of fucking players, So I can't even get behind any of these sentiments. So we don't get that data if it's not being played in its purest gangster form. Admech, Drukhari, Harlequins, like all of these, armies were like OP as fuck. You know what I mean? They were like swarming the fucking top 8s, and then they got fixed up. It's like, dog. We already have a mechanism for playtesting. It's GTs. It's GTs.
But I feel like when you say all those different numbers that you have to test with all these different factions and things, I feel like you could get that faster if you just did like the open beta thing that I was talking about. Where
I don't think you would get it faster.
I just don't think there's enough events when you look at, just in America, supposedly 600 to 800 game stores, right? For 3 months you have, we'll say, to go ahead and go wild with these rules, and, they can make nights of it. Just kind of have fun with it. It might be ridiculous, but whatever, you can use whatever models you want. And it almost feels like the community is giving back to Games Workshop. I feel like you're going to have a lot more response and a lot more. And yes, it might be more work on GW's part to process all those numbers. But I almost feel like they have kind of unlimited labor for like monotonous things like that. But
you're not wrong. If they incentivize them, here's the problem. Like if this is like if this needs to be inaccurate, it's never going to be totally accurate. We both know that, right? Like
sure.
But something that I think you can kind of fire and forget is going to be more accurate is people who paid to go to a GT somewhere, right? Those motherfuckers are playing for keeps, son. So like the Votann list showing up there are the hardcores, and the people they're playing against are the people who are trying to beat the hardcores. So that data, while flawed, is less flawed than people who are getting together trying to fucking do numbers. You know what I mean? And so,
but I mean, as far as like the broken combos go, people will find that whether you're competitive or not competitive.
But is the combo deployable, repeatable? Does it get you into the top 8? You know what I mean? Or did you just do it to some hobos at your game store? So while that data would be useful and eventually usable, I don't believe innately that it is faster and less easy to fucking download than 60 days of GTs. Like, they don't have to do anything. All they have to do is go to the same websites we look at and see the army list on the BCP app and be like, okay, those are the units everyone's taking up, and they're all in the top 8. That's like 4 button clicks, and you already know what to fix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so while a big boy company should have a public test server, and I agree with that, and there should be a whole division of their company devoted to this, and I would say, do that. I would throw in with that, 100%. Like, what incentive do they have to go to that high effort model that costs money when they already have a model that is quite effective, that is low effort and doesn't cost them money?
I get what you're saying, but the problem is that fundamentally, while it might be effective, it's not going to work in the long run. It's not sustainable.
You're right, because people don't like feeling like they're the testers. They don't feel like you're right.
They need to basically do what they did with that video today, where they got us all to laugh along with them, but really it's just them laughing, right? About the Votann. But there's so many fundamental systemic problems with Games Workshop, not to mention the global economic stressors, the supply chain stressors, that, I actually don't envy Games Workshop to be in the position they're in because of all these issues, to try to be able to solve. And it just seems like, you know what, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and it's working. But how long is it going to work for? And when do they need to pivot? Personally, I feel like that point's already passed. But so we have what we have, and we just have to kind of make the best of it, I guess.
That's true. And also to fact check myself, this is true. Darth Zines in chat says it. Sadly, it's not 60 days. It took almost a year in some circumstances. And you're right. I am over exaggerating in my timelines. The amount of data that you can collect from GTs, my point is it vastly outstrips any manual playtesting you could do. Now it's on GW for not doing anything with that data. That's them. That's them trying to stay committed to a calendar for FAQs. And that's where I do lean on my statement of it's words on a page. Put it out on the fucking internet as soon as you have it.
Yeah. And I feel like Games Workshop has kind of hamstrung themselves saying they're, with a lot of things now there's 2 chapter approved books a year, with points changes, which, point changes will be free and downloadable. And they put the book in the White Dwarf. If you think about it, technically the 40K balance update is due September, which means I guess it's coming out tomorrow, Friday, because that's going to be 3 months. That's going to be our quarterly update, and our quarter ends literally tomorrow. So maybe look for that, and everything will change even more. And they felt like they needed to get this Votann thing pushed out today ahead of all that. I couldn't tell you. It's a lot of moving parts, and it's a lot of it's high effort, almost low reward at this point, because it's got to be very challenging to coordinate between the marketing folks, the community folks, the content writers, and the warehouse folks. Because, just look at the last release, Chaos Demons, right? Nearly everything is sold out for Chaos Demons. Why does that keep happening? Think about how high their sales would be if they could actually forecast what they needed product-wise for the newest codex drop, the newest rules drop, the newest balanced data sheet drop, right? It's just that level of coordination is not there between departments. So with that in mind, how are we going to get that from a single department? I think we just got to take what we can get. And as much as we want to talk about it on the show, and I want to put out editorials on the site, none of that shit matters because they're just almost unable to do it at a micro level, much less a macro.
Yeah. And I'm also here fresh off of a GT, and it literally doesn't matter, guys. I can't even understand this degree of outrage or this degree of feelings. I haven't had a not fun moment in 20 years, man. I just don't even understand what part of the community isn't enjoying this hobby. It doesn't matter. If the demons are sold out, I don't buy them. I buy something else. It's that simple. If Votann's busted and I don't want to play against them, I don't. It's that simple. You know what I mean? I don't understand any of this. I'm not being strong armed by anybody at any point to participate in this hobby. I do only what I want to do. Always. And if I sign up for a tournament, which means I can play anybody, I will. But I'm still reserved the right. If you're playing some busted shit, I don't want to play against it and waste 3 hours of my life, I can still back out of that game, which I've never done. But I just don't understand.
I straight conceded the game against what's his nuts.
Okay, there's people I would not play.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, dude, this is gonna. Yeah, I was like, dude, this is gonna be torture.
Like, regardless of what's on the table, but you still have that. It doesn't like. It's like 90% of my time is fantasizing about playing. 9% of my time is painting, and 1% of my time is playing.
Oh yeah.
Plus, Votann doesn't even affect me. I don't understand it.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, to be honest. Like, the only bad times I've had playing Warhammer 40K, actually playing, is when I wasn't prepared because I didn't get the reps in with my army. I wasn't super, like, familiar with my rules, much less what my opponent's basic stuff could do. And that made me frustrated because I felt like I was taking too much time to do the things that I needed to do when I wasn't confident in my own army's abilities, much less how the basics of the opponent's
This
army
shit is
work.
a part-time job. If you want to play at GTs more than once a year, it is a fucking part-time job. It's a fact. There's no way around it. If you take a break from this hobby, it's worse. If you say, I'm going to take a break from 40K for the summer, and then you come back, bro, the mountain of new things, that's hard to get back. And I acknowledge that. That is hard. You know what I'm saying? But what the amount of effort I put into this last tournament, which I did well at, was pretty part-time jobby. Between painting my models, making my own personalized PDFs, my own playbooks, my own mission reminders, because like I don't want to come in unprepared. Bro, I put like clean 20, 30 hours of work into that. Just in that. It's always been that way. That's why I don't care about how, this doesn't matter to me. Like, I've played, Tyranids were super busted. I've played them twice. I got beat both times. Two vastly different Tyranid armies. You know what I mean? So I haven't even downloaded that fight yet. Because I haven't even played the same one twice. You know what I mean? It's like, that's exciting to me. It's an exciting challenge. If my list just works, I'm bored now. So that's just me trying to share my fucking fun path with people. Like, I want everyone to have as much fun as me, dude.
Yeah.
Like, but also, if you're not having fun, don't do it. I don't do anything that's not fun. That's a lie. I do the laundry.
I was like, I know that's a lie.
I do the fucking laundry. It's just not fun.
Just gotta listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the laundry?
Bro, I'm excited to play against this Votann because I'm like, yo, well, fuck these Votann up, dude. I want to get that win, dude. I want to go in there, fucking dumpster them. Be like, so broken. Ah. But I also want to be like, yeah, I beat this broken shit. I don't know.
No, I see that's fair.
I don't even know how to feel about it. I don't give a fuck about them, dude. I don't give a shit about them. I'm not going to buy them. I haven't collected them. I don't give a shit. It's like, I just don't want them to get nerfed before I get my fucking hands on them first. Like, I want to beat them in their rawest state.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't get to.
Well, I mean, they could always swing back, right?
They could, but that's harder to do. Like I was saying, now you don't know now you have flawed data.
Well, this is where we're at. So
people tend to take redundancy in their lists in the form of efficient point usage. And if you've made things less efficient, then it's harder to observe what's redundant and good. Therefore, it's harder to figure out what you have to buff. So you want to debuff things as you see that trend, not try to guess at what needs to be buffed. So, I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be sweeping the top 8s.
Well, at least for a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe all this was unnecessary.
Maybe it was the perfect FAQ.
Whew. That's spicy.
I don't even know. I have no data. It's possible that they flawlessly executed an FAQ.
Well, I mean, we'll know soon enough.
I mean, we won't, though. That's the problem. Because if they still dominate the top 8, they did not execute a flawless FAQ. If they make no appearances in the top 8, we'll never know if they flawlessly execute the FAQ.
Well, no, we will know because they didn't make it.
But if they were never going to make it,
you should still have some variance.
It's possible they were never going to make it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we don't know because they never made it to the top 8. So them getting knocked out of the top 8 is not a true statement because they never were in it. So that's the problem. We'll never know if it's the right direction. But not a thing to be mad about is my only point.
I'm definitely not mad about it.
Fuck no.
Gives us something to write about, but that's about it.
Gives us something to talk about, yeah. I mean, which is fun. Oh my God, the rumor stuff. Okay, without naming any names, I just want to say this officially to the world. Rumors are fun to talk about.
Oh, they're super fun.
Rumors are fun as fuck, guys. The rumor mill is my favorite shit. Okay?
But they're rumors.
When a post says new rumor, I read it every time because this shit is fun and entertaining to read and then to fucking fantasize about. I'm saying this out of context, but I just want people to agree with me on that. Rumors are fun.
Rumors are super fun. Sometimes, I'm going to let you know a little secret. Sorry if this is a spoiler alert. Rumors might end up not being true. And when a post says, hey, this is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, you're talking 50-50. You're talking weatherman shit here, right? Like, who knows? But what if? What if?
What if? Rumors are fun. Stop reading them if you don't think that if you're mad when they're not true. Like sometimes people just make up rumors.
Oh man, isn't that wild?
It's crazy.
Who would do that? Who would purposefully make
it's
up
almost
a
like
rumor?
The definition of the word means that.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? But I mean, why would you choose to make up a rumor about something that comes around once every year that is so universally loved by so many people in this hobby? It's sometimes the only way people can actually afford to pick up a new army at the like most wonderful time of the year, at the holidays. Why would you make up a rumor? That's just wrong on so many levels, man.
No, well, like obviously, if I made up a rumor, it wouldn't be because I cared about anybody.
Oh, interesting. How could you say something so controversial yet so brave?
That's just some stuff I want to put out there out of context. Rumors are fun, guys. Votann, beautiful models. I want everyone who invested in that army to enjoy their investment. I want everyone who invested in the army they're currently playing with to enjoy that investment. I also want everyone who has an investment in models that they haven't even paid it yet to paint their models and experience joy. I want everyone to just have joy in this hobby. Or the tabletop miniatures hobby, not necessarily a Warhammer. Yeah. Paint your models. Join a league. Play some games. That's all there is to this.
Yep. I agree.
That's right, man. Well, let's get Rob to bed, guys.
Old people alert. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to a long-winded rant about such things. Check out the After Hours video over on Patreon. It's our one and only excuse. Oh, I guess we have the Before the Pour. That's actually our exclusive. But if you want the full-on meanderings of Patreon, head on over to thelongwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today.